Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kayfabe Central podcast and another episode of Predict the Bell, where today we are going to be going over AEW All Out Toronto that is taking place at Scotiabank Arena on September 20th, 2025. I'm your host, Josh, as always. Joining me is Ruan Wrestling
Hey guys.
and Stu World Order.
Hello.
So if you're returning here, you know the drill. We're gonna go over all the matches, break down what we think, what we like, what we don't like, all that good stuff. A very packed card, like any other AEW pay-per-view. Um, and by the way, Dynamite last night was, I don't want to say a pain to sit through, but I mentioned this on the WrestlePalooza predictions, and Stu and Rue know this very well. I am very lazy. And sitting through 3 hours of Dynamite was not the funnest thing in the world. Um, but you know what? It's fine. It was for covers purposes. It's for work, and I needed to watch Dynamite because for All Out it was the go home show. Um, and this is going to be even longer. Obviously this is going somewhat toe to toe with WrestlePalooza. I'm pretty sure that this is going to overlap WrestlePalooza in
Oh,
some
definitely.
capacity.
100%.
Um, like there's no way because the actual show starts at 3. WrestlePalooza starts at 7. But I'm pretty sure that WrestlePalooza is gonna have like a 2 hour nothing pre-show again. This AEW All Out's not ending at 5 p.m. So yeah, we're gonna get through all the matches. Before we do that, make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. Speaking of interviews, I am recording another interview tonight that will be announced probably after I record it, and it'll be out sometime next week, more than likely. So make sure you watch out for that. It'll probably be released on the Ko-Fi page first, like I did with the Emilio interview. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier on the Ko-Fi page. This is an interview that a lot of independent wrestling fans are gonna want to watch. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for that. That's all the self promo I'm gonna do for now because we got a lot to get into, and then I'll do the rest in the outro. So let's get through these matches. What should we start with? Let's start with the tag team match. Actually, we have like an 8 woman like tornado brawl or something on the pre-show that I apparently thought I wrote down. Um, oh well, we'll get to that. We have a tag team match. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, Edge and Christian, taking on FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood. Um, so now this match it needed to happen. We knew this was going to happen. Now, initially, I thought this was going to be for the tag titles. Part of me still thinks it should have been for the tag titles. I think that would have been a cool concept to throw in there. But obviously, Bro Dito's holding the tag titles, and they're going to be defending it on this very card. With the tag titles not being in play here, I'm more confident that Cope and Christian, or as Christian would say, Cage and Cope, um, is going to pick up the win here.
Sure, me to jump in then. I agree. Also, just I don't think I've done an AEW predictions with Stu. Just for reference, by the way.
Oh
Basically,
wow.
the way these go is Josh gives his prediction, and I just agree with it because that's how every AEW one goes with us, and I have no idea why.
Well, this is good because I'm coming in clueless. So I'm going to go for the people with the funnest names.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I totally agree with what Josh said. I've got Edge and Christian. Also, I actually really want FTR to win this. I would love for them to. I just there's no other way of putting it. Tony Khan has a hard on for Edge and Christian, so I can't see them not winning.
So I can see them not winning. And the reason is, first of all, FTR are sensational. And Josh is right. I think personally they should be tag team champions at the moment. I think it's been
Yeah.
building for them to be tag team champions for so long. And then it didn't happen, which was irritating. I don't think this is from an outsider's point of view. I don't think Cage and Cope are going to be around for much longer. And I think You go out on your shield, man. So I'm actually going to go for an FTR win here, and that's going to be a nice thing to think about when Edge is fighting John Cena.
I've heard the rumors of that. I'd be mental if that does happen in the next however many months.
Oh, I'd love it. But that's honestly why I think they're going to be gone soon. So I think it's time to start feeding the next people. And FTR are a very established tag team anyway, so keep them strong.
Yeah, like Ru said, and like I completely understand that take, and like there was a point of me, like at a point in time where I was like, maybe FTR will take this, but Ru has a very good point that Tony Khan just has a thing for nostalgia, and he just seems to love Edge and Christian. I mean, who doesn't? But I do think that realistically, FTR should win. Um, I don't think that's going to be the case. In terms of them not sticking around for a while, um, that's possible. It's Christian Cage. It's very possible
Exactly.
that Christian Cage just says, "Oh, well, fuck you." Um,
He's a promotion whore.
but it's also very possible that they end up challenging Brodito for the tag titles after this. Um, and I guess little spoiler for later. That I think Brodito is probably going to retain those tag titles. Um, but yeah, so we have Copeland Christian versus FTR. So the match I was referring to earlier, I just wrote it down, is the match that's happening on the pre-show, I guess we can call it. It's not called the
Yeah.
0 Hour, but it's a special that they're doing on TNT and HBO Max at like around 2 o'clock. Um, it's the eight-woman tornado tailgate brawl. Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale taking on Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart and Skye Blue. Um, I am very excited to see this in person, and I'm going to be that guy for a second because I absolutely love any time Sky Blue's on my screen.
I knew you were going to say that.
Uh, um, however, I think that the baby faces are gonna go over in this match. I think it's just gonna be a cool little warm up for All Out. Um, and I think the baby faces are gonna go over. This should just be a fun match, in general. So yeah, I have nothing else to really break down about this match than the baby faces are gonna go over.
I said the exact same. I have no, if anything interesting to add, I have none of it to this. I say we have a fun match. I think it's a bit of a brawl. It's a bit different than just a standard tag team match. But yeah, I find the baby faces more because Willow's on their team, and I really like Willow. So
Yeah.
that's my main reasoning.
I say keep Megan Bayne strong, man.
Valid point as well.
Yeah, very valid point.
Yeah. By the way, I've got two things to say before we move on to the next match. First of all, Josh, I'm fairly sure about 5 minutes ago you complained that you had to watch wrestling for work. You complained about this. Just take a second there. You complained that you had to watch a TV show of wrestling for work. Take a step back, evaluate. I
No,
realize
okay.
that's not the worst thing in the world.
I love what I do for work. Okay, I do. But there's some times where you're sitting through 3 hours of dynamite and it's like, oh man, my back is starting to hurt. I'm getting tired. I want to sleep.
I had to sit at a desk for 9 hours today and tell lorries where to go for work. I know where I'd have rather been. Second point, how many goddamn channels do you guys have to watch wrestling? It's ridiculous. We've got Netflix and ITV. Done.
Yeah, we're fine for that. I'm so glad that we have this deal compared to being in America. I don't know how they do it.
My God. It must cost you a fortune.
Yeah,
Uh,
so HBO Max, I don't know if we have that in Canada, and I think TNT is American as well. Um, I still managed to get those channels, but yeah, they have this across multiple channels. Like TNT, TBS, HBO Max. It's kind of ridiculous, and I feel bad for the people that pay for every single thing to watch, anything AEW or like WWE. Um, we're not gonna get started on the whole ESPN thing again. But so yeah, there's that. We got that out the way. Then we have let's move to the trios match. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP are taking on Ricochet and the GOA, Bishop Kaun and Toa Liona. Now, I think that Ricochet and GOA could really benefit from a win here. However, I don't think that's going to be the case because the Hurt Syndicate just lost those tag titles, and them losing here again would just it wouldn't be a good look for them. So I'm going to take the Hurt Syndicate to win here. Um, I don't know what the end game is for Ricochet and the GOA, or if they have an end game, or if this is just something for fun that they're doing. Because Ricochet seems like he's having fun. Um, Toa Liona, by the way. Completely forgot that was the guy's name when I was doing my AEW Dynamite preview. So, I apologize to any, hardcore AEW fans that I may have aggravated. Um, but Toa Leona was pretty impressive on Dynamite last night, and I liked what I saw from him. And yeah, him versus Bobby Lashley was just a good old hoss fight, and that was a fun match to watch. So, became a bit of a Toa Leona fan last night, but I do think that the Hurt Syndicate is going to pick up the win here.
So I agree with what you said, just a different outcome. Like this really could benefit Ricochet and GOA. I'm not massively interested in the match, to be truly honest.
Yeah.
But I do think it would benefit them more. So I have actually gone for them more for the reasoning by the fact that MVP's in the match. As much as I do, if Shelton or Bobby was to take the pin, then yeah, that might be a bit harmful. But
Yeah.
maybe MVP there, so it makes a bit more sense. But I do agree. I think it could benefit Ricochet and GOA a bit more. So I've gone for them. Again, it was a bit more. It was a bit of a toss of a coin. But that's like the only logical explanation I can come up with.
I'm actually going to agree with Josh on this one. Rue's actually not agreed with Josh for one, so I'm going to agree with Josh. No, I think obviously you are quite convincing when you say MVP's there, which makes a lot of sense that he'll be the one to eat the pin if anybody does. But you've had a whole kind of wasted MJF thing that went kind of nowhere. And then the Hurt Syndicate have lost the titles as well. And I think to keep them strong, they kind of need the win more than Ricochet and his pals. So I'm going to go for the Hurt Syndicate.
Um, there's also been a rumor that there may be another member added to the Hurt Syndicate. There's been a lot of
Ricochet.
talks of that, and it is very possible that the new member is revealed here at All Out, and that helps the Hurt Syndicate win.
Yeah, threw that one in at the last second, didn't you? Made Rue look
Get quiet there.
rightful. Or is the new member one of the other team? Dum dum dum.
I don't know if any three of them would really fit the vibe of the Hurt Syndicate.
True.
There's been a lot of talk about Keith Lee.
Oh my
He
god, yeah.
recently broke his silence on X. Um, but apparently, according to the report, it's a younger talent that they're thinking about adding to the group. So I honestly have no clue. Um, yeah, I have no idea who they could add to the Hurt Syndicate if they are continuing, the theme of all the members of the Hurt Syndicate being black. I don't know who they would add. Um, but if that's not the case, then there's a plethora of different people that they can add. One person that comes to mind immediately who is not on this card is Hook. I think Hook would be a good addition to the Hurt Syndicate. He's young. I think he has a lot of potential. Um, yeah, I think that Hook could be a great addition to it, and maybe that's the addition. Maybe then we get the Hurt Syndicate versus the Ops in some capacity.
Well, who's the other guy with the ups? The big fella. And if
Hobbs.
you're going with the with the everybody staying black in the Hurt
Yep.
Syndicate. Oh, the Hobbs, that's it,
But
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah,
That would be a great addition.
I agree. I agree. But they are the current trios champions. So
But
I
he was only there to replace Hook.
that is true. That's true. Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing with this op storyline. The ops still have Hook's back, but Hook doesn't want the help, so we got to see where it takes us. Um, let's move on to the singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné is taking on Riho. Riho is the first ever AEW Women's World Champion, and Riho does not stand a chance here at AEW All Out because Mercedes Moné, you don't bet against Mercedes Moné when, you know, in recent times. Mercedes Moné is retaining this title, and there's nothing else to it.
yep, that's all I've got to say. Yep.
I
Yeah. Yeah. I can't add anything to it. I'm really excited for the match. Rio was really good. I like Rio, but I don't think anyone's had less of a chance of winning in a match ever before.
I like to go down a conspiracy theory route, but I just completely concur. I like to say, well, maybe it's so obvious that she won't win. But no, she's gonna win. Mercedes gonna win. And she should.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that was really intriguing.
That's really, yeah, really standard. I think that's what the match is going to be too, a pretty standard match. And that's no disrespect to Riho or Mercedes Moné, even though I can't stand her theme song. Um,
I love the theme song.
I just can't get over the fact that it was Gunther's. That's what throws me off.
um, yeah, I don't expect much from this match, to be honest. It's just gonna be a match. I think that maybe Riho is somebody that Mercedes Moné wanted to wrestle, and that's why they're doing this. Um, then yeah, that's all I have to say about that match. Um, let's go down the list a little bit. Another women's match, the four-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander versus Tekla. Um, s- Kind of the same deal here. I don't see Tony Storm losing this title. I think that if anybody actually has a chance to win this title in this match, it's Chris Statlander. And I think Chris Statlander is someone who is actually worthy of winning that AEW Women's World Championship. I am kind of just over the timeless Tony Storm thing, and
Ooh,
I'm getting a little bit tired of it. Um,
ooh.
Obviously, Tony Khan and a lot of other people are not, and they still seem to like it, but I don't know. To me, it's kind of just run its course, and some of the one-liners she gives are still hilarious, but I don't know. I'm kind of over it, but I still think that she's going to retain. I don't think she's losing here.
Yeah, glad. I'm very happy you went for this match right after the TBS one because I agree. I was like, this is pretty much the same. Tony Storm's going to win. But no, I'll try to give a bit more actual in-depth analysis. Um, I agree in the fact that I think what's interesting is with it being that fatal four-way that there is always the possibility of someone like I said, Chris Statlander picking up the win or Tekla, and without having to pin Tony. But I also just don't see that happening at the same time. I did mention this in my video earlier on the fact that like AEW have kind of not massive, but they've kind of just booked themselves once again into a corner with the women's division because their two champions are unbeatable. Like, the only person that could beat Mercedes was Tony Storm. Like, they're completely unbeatable. I'm obviously they will win. I'm hoping down the line that my fingers still crossed that eventually it'll be a Fino to take one of their belts. But for right now, I don't see it changing, and I do think they'll kind of stuck until they come back around to if you know.
Yeah, I think either we do Mercedes versus Tony Storm again, or we have, is it Megan Bayne? What did you call it? Athena?
Yeah, if you know.
Yeah, or she does it. But the problem is they had the Megan Bayne match with Tony Storm far too early. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I I really like Tony Storm. I think she's brilliant for the women's division. This is only me personally. I know Josh has a completely different viewpoint on that one, but I just want her to win forever until we come back to all in again next year and do Mercedes versus Tony Storm once more.
That is something that very well could happen. Um, because like you mentioned, there's nobody else who can beat Mercedes Moné nor Tony Storm, except for Tony Storm beating Mercedes Moné. Um, so it's very possible that Tony Storm holds that title all the way to All In. Not something I'd be totally interested in, but um, yeah, it's very possible. Um, yeah, that's all I really have to say about this match. I like what Tekla has been doing. I think Tekla has been really impressive recently, in the work that she's been doing, and I think that Jamie Hayter is someone who's already proven herself to be able to be at the top of the division. And, I think Tekla, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander will all have their time eventually, but their time will not be September 20th.
I'm
Um, let's go to the coffin match. John Moxley versus Darby Allin. I almost said Jarby Allin. Oh my goodness. Um,
Darby Allen.
John Moxley taking on Darby Allin. This storyline has gone on long enough, and I hope that this is it. And I'm not saying that this is not going to be a good match. It definitely will be. This is going to be one of the more brutal matches on the card. And I think that Darby Allin absolutely needs to win this match. There's no reason that John Moxley needs to win this match. He doesn't need to be protected. He's not at that point where he needs to be protected anymore. Darby Allin needs to win it, gain some momentum, and possibly go after that AEW World Championship at some point.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it was really funny in my prediction video earlier where like I kind of talked myself into a shoot with it. So I totally agree that it should be Darby. I think Darby needs it. I think Moxley needs a break, more obviously more than anything.
Yeah.
Um, but then I really stupidly brought up the name of Daniel Garcia in my head and went, what if? What if Daniel Garcia to prove himself to Moxley is going to do it? I don't think he should. I don't want him to. I am going Derby, but it was just a thought that I had, and I went, why have I thought about this? I've now thrown a spanner in the work of my own predictions, but no, I'm going Derby. Derby absolutely should win it, and yes, I'd love to see him move on from here, and I'm very much looking forward to the match because it will be ridiculously violent because of the two men in the match. Look at it.
Yeah, the match is going to be awesome. But you're right, Rue. Why would we just add Daniel Garcia to the mix to not then utilize him for John Moxley immediately?
Yeah.
That would be a strange decision. Also, Mox is coming off Hangman Page, the big loss there. Another big loss to him, unless, as you say, the man needs a break and he needs to heal in many ways. But it just seems a strange one to me to have Daniel Garcia just link up and then the very first sort of big thing he'll possibly be involved in with the Death Riders that they lose. Because I always look at it as not just Moxley versus someone, it's the Death Riders versus someone. So it's the group. And why would you have a new addition to the group and not capitalize on it straight away? That's so I'm gonna go with a Mox win on this one. Thank you very much, Rue.
Oh, there you
Yeah, I actually didn't process that until you guys started talking, and I'm like, wait,
go.
Darby Allin, everybody that's backed up Darby Allin has a match on this card. So technically, unless somebody else comes out, Darby doesn't have any help.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
I totally what the like got myself to a shoot because I said that kind of on an offhand comment when I did my predictions, and I went, "Oh shit, wait, actually, I might have just convinced myself." I didn't change my prediction. I was like, I'm going to keep with it. However, that could throw a massive spanner in the works.
Yeah. Actually, um, we don't know what his health is, but unless we got a Will Ospreay appearance here and he
Ooh.
helps out Darby Allin and we eventually move to whenever Osprey's healthy, Moxley and Osprey.
God, that's just what both of them need. The first match.
That will actually be a death match. A
Yeah.
genuine, legitimate. There doesn't even have to be weapons involved. First one to take a big bump, dead.
Yeah.
Osprey comes back. Oh, you've just healed your neck. Okay, you can go in a death match against Moxley. Moxley needs some time off, or you can take a hidden blade from Osprey.
I tell you what, though, I've never changed my mind on a wrestler as much as I've changed my mind on Will Ospreay in the last 5 months.
Really, completely
Literally.
changed up.
Well, I thought the man was a spot monkey and that was it. But watching him recently, he is now absolutely nailed the storytelling part of wrestling.
No,
With, with
he's amazing. The only bit with Osprey that I get frustrated with sometimes is his what's the way to describe it? Some of the way he maybe sometimes conducts himself in interviews can be a bit frustrating.
yes.
But in the ring, he is literally up there. There's an argument that he's literally the best in the world. Easily.
Oh, we need to have a podcast on who's the best in the world. Oh.
That would go on forever.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get into the rest of the card, we have like 5 minutes left in this meeting, so I'm gonna create a new one. Um, so I will be right back, guys. All right, we are back. So yeah, let's move on. What match did we just talk about? Oh yeah, the coffin match. Um, let's go on to Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill. Now, this is a match that doesn't really do much for me, especially because I don't watch Collision. And this, storyline has been evolving over time on Collision. That much I know. Eddie Kingston is making his return at AEW All Out, and a lot of people are annoyed that they announced this ahead of time. I don't really care about that because it is what it is. It gets more butts and seats. But oh shoot, Eddie Kingston is going to be there. Um, and I like Eddie Kingston. I like Big Bill. But like I mentioned, the match itself doesn't do much for me. In terms of the winner, I think that Big Bill should win. I think that he should, and it'll do a lot for him. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. I think they're going to give the win to Eddie Kingston so he can return and, have a victory in his return.
Yeah. Um, I pretty much agree. I said this my one the fact that like I don't really see. I'm not rather than trying to overcomplicate it. I think it would just be a simple feel good victory for Eddie on his return. It's cool to see him back. Cool position for Big Bill to be
Yeah.
put in. Someone I think is actually incredibly underrated. So yeah, cool position for him, but I can't see it past putting Eddie Kingston over on his return.
No, Big Bill frustrates me because he looks like he's trying to be scary. Just be scary. You're like 17 feet 9 and you weigh about 48 stone of muscle. You don't have to do the faces. You're just scary, man. It's a bit like, Talatonga, is it? Just
Yeah.
don't pretend. Talatonga, Rusev, Big Bill all have the same problem. They're scary looking dudes. Just you don't have to then try and be scary. Just be you and you'll be scary. This is the thing that frustrates me with Big Bill. But yeah, Eddie Kingston will win. But I think Big Bill should.
Yeah, Big Bill has been looking SAWFT recently. So uh
Man, soft.
no disrespect to Big Bill. Just a joke I had to make. Um Yeah, I think Eddie Kingston picks up the win here. Going back to the hardcore side of things, we have a table and thumbtacks match. MJF versus Mark Briscoe. Now, this is right down Mark Briscoe's alley. This is what he does best, and I think that he's going to pick up the win here. And I think that because MJF still has the Casino Gauntlet contract, I can see Tony Khan getting into the um trap of the whole money in the bank kind of mindset where We can have the holder lose a match, and it'll all just cancel out when he cashes in and wins the world title. So in that case, I think that Mark Briscoe picks up the win here, and a win could end up, moving him into a match with Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship or with Kazuchika Okada for the Unified Championship.
Yeah, this is the only match that after I made my prediction, I kind of regretted. I think it's the only. I don't tend to change my prediction, but it's the only one I think I am going to change from earlier. I didn't really know because I like both guys equally. I love them both, in fact. But originally I did go for MJF. It was kind of a toss of a coin. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, probably Mark Briscoe. So I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna go Mark Briscoe.
I want to sit down and have dinner with Mark Briscoe. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna feed him topics and just tell him, what do you think about this? Discuss. I just want to spend an hour with the man. I love Mark Briscoe. I really do. I love MJF. MJF generally gets the better of most people, so I don't think it's going to do him any harm to just not get the better of Mark Briscoe on this one, especially as we've had the whole brother thing for quite some time now. It might be time for Briscoe to put a good old whooping on MJF for all the horrible words he's been saying, shall we say? And it's going to do MJF no damage at all because, as you say, he's still got the contract. So, yeah, I think Briscoe wins this one as he should, and it'll be a damn entertaining match.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. MJF has just been he's been doing really good work and like he always has, but man, these promos recently, like he is doing a perfect job at getting heat. And like shout out to Mark Briscoe for like, allowing MJF for or hopefully allowing MJF to say these things about Jay. If he's not allowing it, then yeah, we're gonna have a lot of receipts in this match. But yeah, MJF has just been doing a phenomenal job. And like he always does, but recently, like with the whole CMLL thing, he calls the CMLL title that he's holding the World Championship, even though like in CMLL it's like there's no one title that's above the other. So yeah, he's doing a great job with that. So, but yeah, in agreement that Mark Briscoe picks up the win here. Um, what else do we have? Let's go to the four-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. We have Brodito, Brody King, and Bandito, Jet Speed, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight, the Young Bucks. We know who those are, and Hechicero and Josh Alexander. This is going to be a very fun match, and honestly, I think any of these teams can actually win this match. Hechicero and Josh Alexander could definitely win the match when, bring some more gold to the Don Callis family. The Young Bucks can win those tag titles back after winning that, what was it, 500K or something like that. They could definitely win it and, try to get back their EVP status. The team that um, probably has the least likely chance of winning, and I hate to say it because I love them as a tag team, is probably Jet Speed. Um, because I don't know, unless they just want to have some fun, put the titles on Jet Speed, I have no problem with that. They'll put on really good matches. Um, but in terms of a long-term goal, which seems like what Tony Khan is going for recently, that long-term storytelling. Um, It's either going to be Brodito retaining, the Young Bucks win, or Alexander and Hechicero wins. But I'm going to take Brodito retaining.
Yeah, I pretty much kind of thought the same. With this, it was literally a case of another toss of a coin. I was like, I think anyone could win this match, but yeah, in the end, I've just played it safe. I guess I've gone with Brodito. I actually really like them. Is again, it's always the same. It's the really random ass tag teams they could put together. They end up being really fun. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. But as you said, literally, I could see any of them holding it. I would one day down the line really want to see Jet Speed with it because I'm with you. I really like the two of them. But yeah, right now should be an incredible match. Very much looking forward to it. But I think Brody King and Bandito will hold on to them.
Yeah, I really want Jet Speed to win this. I love them every time they're together. I think they're brilliant. Josh Alexander should be banned from winning any titles while he wears headgear. I'm sorry, should be cheating, should not be allowed. It's not a mask, it's protective headwear. Surely that shouldn't be allowed. Otherwise, everybody's going to go in there with like fluffy hats and stuff like that with loads of padding and protect. You can punch them all day long. And the only problem I have with jet speed is psychopaths don't wear footwear in the ring. It's insanity. But yeah, I think Brodito are gonna retain, and I've got no beef with that at all.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know how Mike Bailey does that. And like Stu and I have both been inside of a wrestling ring. I can't imagine being in a wrestling ring barefoot and wrestling a match barefoot. It's like I don't know how he does it. I really
I
don't.
literally have a blister right now, and I wear boots.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
I hate the guy, but that was always what like dragged me towards like Matt Riddle back in the day. I was like, how the
Oh,
hell is he doing this?
gotta have some tough feet.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, fuck that guy. But
yeah. No,
Fuck
I'm
Matt
in full
Riddle.
agreement. Don't worry.
Something we all agree on. Fuck Matt Riddle.
Um, yeah, someone I'll never make an attempt to have on Kayfabe Central. But
I
let's
tell
go
you what, you get some
to
listeners though.
let's move on to the three-way match for the AEW Unified Championship. Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mascara Dorada. I don't see a world in where Okada loses the title just yet. I think this is going to be a very fun match, though. I like Okada, I like Takeshita, and I've recently become a fan of Mascara Dorada after Dynamite last night. The things that this guy does is absolutely insane. I don't know how he does some of the things that he does, but he somehow pulls them off. And I think he does have a very bright future in that ring and in terms of winning championship gold. But Okada just recently won that title. I don't see him dropping it anytime soon. And yeah, he's gonna retain here. He probably ends up dropping it to Takeshita in a one-on-one match down the line. But it won't be here. There's gonna be some friction between them two in this match. Um, that's gonna cause them to go toe to toe and beat the hell out of each other. But in the end, I think Okada retains.
That's really funny you said that because I was pretty much bang on what I said in my prediction.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I love Okada, I love Takeshita, I love Mascara Dorada. I hate the name of the title, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
That sucks. But yeah, that's pretty much what I said right now. I don't see Okada losing this, but I could definitely see down the road Takeshita being the one to take it off Okada. I just don't quite see that happening just yet. So I'm going for Okada, but if they pulled the trigger and gave it to Takeshita, I wouldn't really mind either. I'd be quite happy. But yeah, going Okada.
I don't want to see it off Okada yet. I really like him. And I think he makes a very worthy champion of that championship. The championship suits him at the moment. So I don't think it needs to be taken off of him yet. Match is going to be stiff. But yeah, Okada wins this, I think.
Yeah. Um, so the match that is likely to be the main event of the evening, because I don't think there's any other match that should be the main event, to be honest. That being the AEW World Championship match, Hangman Adam Page defending his title against Kyle Fletcher. The Don Callis family is banned from ringside. No, they're not, because there's gonna be some shenanigans in some shape or form. Um, they made the rule of where if the Don Callis family gets involved, Kyle Fletcher will be stripped of the TNT Championship. They're gonna pull something off, like Don Callis showing up on the Titantron or something like that. Whatever it may be, or maybe somebody else that's not in the Don Callis family shows up, um, and then tries to help Kyle Fletcher out. Either way, I don't think it's gonna work because I think Hangman Adam Page is going to retain. Kyle Fletcher won that TNT championship just a little over a month ago. It doesn't really make sense for him to win it now. I do think that the guy is a future world champion. He is the future of this industry and of AEW if he, chooses to stay there a long time, which I think he will. Um, yeah, Kyle Fletcher has all the potential in the world, but I don't think it's his time yet. I don't see a world in where Tony Khan takes that title off of Hangman Adam Page yet. Hangman Adam Page, just had the, if you want to compare it to WWE, just had the Cody Rhodes win. And he's going to hold that title for quite a long time. And it's probably going to end up being MJF that cashes in on Hangman at some point in time. Um, it won't happen at this show because Hangman has, not Hangman, MJF has a tables and tax match, like we mentioned earlier. So probably won't happen here. Yeah, Hangman Adam Page retains.
Josh has been stealing my predictions. Once again, is pretty much bang on what I said. I think again they kind of book themselves. AEW does this quite a lot. I feel like they try to be too fancy with sometimes with their stipulations, where it kind of almost makes things predictable. But I will say it's not like the worst. But I do think that, and pretty much bang what you said, and the fact that someone's going to get involved because otherwise, what is the whole point of the stipulation? I think someone's going to get involved. I said the exact thing that you just brought up earlier. I think it's going to be someone that isn't in the Don Callis family.
Oh
So therefore,
shit.
they get around there's someone who will join, but right now isn't actually in it.
Yeah.
So they can get around that technicality. But in the end, I think that it will fall flat, it will fail, and also I think Hangman will retain. There's no reason to take that off him just yet. But I totally agree as well on the flip side with Fletcher. If they were to do something really dumb and strip him, I don't see the point in that. I think Fletcher, this is his first proper singles title reign to give him a chance to go and hopefully have a really good one. Because I agree, I think he's been set up. If he wants to commit, Fletcher has amazing things in his future in AEW. Put it that way, I think he's absolutely the future of AEW. I don't see if they were to strip him of the TNT title here because of that. I don't think that's going to do him the world of good. So yeah, I agree. Hangman to retain, but I do think it will be shenanigans.
I don't know why they're doing this match. I don't understand why Carl Fletcher's fighting for the world title yet. You could have all these people fighting over the world title for like the next year, 2 years, and just in the background is this growing threat of the future of AEW, and that's Carl Fletcher. He didn't need to be anywhere near the world title picture yet because everybody knows he's gonna be there at some point. Every world champion could be, he's a world champion, asterisk, there is a Carl Fletcher coming until like you can't deny him anymore. But instead, they've just given him it way too early, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. We all know and the thing is, we all know Adam Page is going to win as well because he's nowhere near done with his title reign yet. And as you say, MJF's got a contract. Don't they say that now there has to be a week's notice for the contract to be cashed in now? I'm fairly sure
Yep.
Tony Khan said that at some point. So obviously MJF won't be cashing in this show anyway. But yeah, I just think it's nuts to have it. Yeah, Hangman Page wins. If you gave Carl Fletcher the title as well now, it would diminish some of his aura. It's just too early. So yeah, Hangman Page wins. Match shouldn't be happening, but it'll be a good match though.
Yeah. I think I may be in the minority in saying this. I may not be. And you guys can let me know if you agree or disagree. I think that Kyle Fletcher should be leaving the Don Callis family soon. I don't think he should be in the Don Callis family for much longer. Now, obviously, he will be. It seems like he's going to be in there for a while, but I think he'll do just fine on his own. Um, Even if it still is as a heel. Um, but I don't know. I think he would just do much better without the Don Callis family.
Well, that's because there's 720 members of the Don Callis family all of a sudden.
I'm going to grow
I'm kind
after the show, I'm telling you.
of sorry, 721 after the show. Yeah. I yeah, I don't think it hurts him being in the Don Callis family at the moment. Just having somebody equally as reprehensible as Carl Fletcher, I think you can drag that on for another few months yet until he falls out with someone in the Don Callis family, or Don Callis himself, because he maybe outgrows it. But yeah, I don't think it hurts him being in it at the moment.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty much how I feel as well. With
yeah.
it, it's like I think for right now, it's a good way to get him up to that level, and once he's at that level, he can kick them, be like, "I'm done with you, go away," and go off on himself. I do agree. Like down the line, to be the what we I guess perceive and want him to be, he needs to break away from them. But I think for right now, he's okay.
he can never be a face. With that face, he can never be a face.
Yeah.
He's
However,
Australian and he looks like that. He can never, ever, ever be a babyface.
I actually just got a thought, and it's something that could happen, probably won't, but could. It could be a case of where Kyle Fletcher genuinely wants the Don Callis family to stay out of it because he wants to do it on his own. However, Don Callis still tries to get involved, and that pisses Kyle Fletcher off. And then that starts the friction between Callis and Fletcher. Because
You
I
saying,
do think there is a good chance that Kyle Fletcher could be a babyface down the road.
oh, how he's gonna have to grow his hair.
I was literally going to say that exact thing. He's going to have to grow his hair back.
So you're saying they're going to strip? He could interfere and get him stripped of the TNT title because that would cause massive friction.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be stripped of it. However, it would be a very interesting storyline because now there's friction between them two, and then there's also friction between Callis and Takeshita and Okada. That can start an entire civil war.
Well, there's enough of them.
Yeah. Doubt that's gonna happen though. That's probably gonna be what we said originally, which is there's gonna be another member added to the Don Callis family.
Maybe he doesn't like the other
Yay!
member. Maybe it's
Ah,
maybe who is the other one in Aussie Open? Oh, I forgot his name. Maybe it's him.
Oh,
Oh no, have I done something?
that is a very good point. We just went through a whole bunch of different conclusions that I didn't even think was possible at first.
Mark Davis. That's his name.
Wait, what was his name?
Mark Davis.
Oh yeah,
That was his name. Maybe it's him, and that's like maybe Callis starts to like Davis more, and Fletcher gets jealous.
yeah. Plot
I'm the
twist. It's
only
Will
bloody
Ospreay.
Aussie in this bloody family. You flaming galah.
That sounds exactly like him. He's in the room.
Oh man. Yeah, plot twist. Watch it be Will Ospreay. Uh,
Oh,
now that would cause friction.
come on,
Um,
hobbling out.
but that is AEW All Out for Toronto 2025. A very long card, but a card that looks pretty promising and a lot of good matches to be on this card, like any other AEW pay-per-view. Let us know what you guys think. I always love hearing you guys' opinions, whether you agree or disagree. I always love hearing them. There's a multiple of different ways you can let me know your opinions. You can let me know in the comment section down below on YouTube if you're listening on YouTube. You can also let me know in the Spotify comment section. You can let me know on the Kayfabe Central website. You can also let me know on the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. Also on the Kayfabe Central website, there's a group community section that anybody can join. You can get email alerts anytime there's a coverage post, article, or anything along those lines posted on the website. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Um, there's also the Discord server. Go ahead and join up the Discord server for Kayfabe Central. If you want a place to chat up about wrestling or things non-wrestling related, there's also a channel for that as well. So different ways you can let me know your opinions. Also, check out the TikTok. I'm live on TikTok for almost every show except for TNA Impact. So go check those out as well. You can let me know your thoughts over there as well. Make sure you go follow Rue on Wrestling on TikTok as well as Stu World Order on TikTok. They post some amazing content. Definitely worth the watch and definitely worth the follow. So go check out their content as well. But yeah, that is AEW All Out 2025 Toronto. Once again, let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys in the next one, which will probably be the TNA Impact post show if I don't get too tired to do it. So I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.